Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.
RCB put into bat, and RCB have yet again put on a show. 218 is what they've got. That after their innings was interrupted after 3 overs for a bit of a rain break. But we ask questions of CSK's bowling and whether it is indeed advantage RCB if the dream is still alive for the most miraculous of turnarounds for Faf du Plessis' side. This is Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout, powered by JBL. Tom Moody, Mitch McClenaghan, Varun, Aaron. Advantage RCB, Tom?
Very much so. That's a very, very good score on a surface that, particularly the first half of the innings, was certainly looked difficult to bat on, but then got better and better and better. So, yeah, I'd be certainly happier if I was in the RCB dressing room. Let's
talk about that surface, which you know enough of, Varun. When they came back after the rain interruption, it looked like they'd do well to get bat on ball to the spin of Mitch Santner, but things changed pretty soon. What happened?
Look, I think Mitch Santner and Tikshana, their figures look really good. So, and Jadeja is obviously a little expensive. But I thought they did bowl slightly on the shorter side, because at that point they could have actually gotten wickets when the wicket was doing those kind of funny things, which was really sticking, really gripping. It was literally like Santner was bowling an arm ball and it was turning from leg stump and going to off.
Why was that happening?
It was just a little extra moisture on the wicket.
So the rain made a difference.
That's right. The only explanation, because there was no dust or anything like that on the wicket.
What happens on those slower wickets for the spinners is when the seam's still new and pronounced and it's a little bit drier, it can stick in a little bit more. It looked like a drier surface. You sort of slower balls stick throughout. So definitely, and you're right, the pace was the interesting one. Mitchell Santner got the pace right. Tikshana at times, and Jadeja struggled with his pace. He bowled a bit too quick, and he bowled like it was dusty. And as he does in Test cricket, where he fires it in, gets the ball going sideways, and the wicket does it. But it wasn't that type of wicket. You had to get good revs on it, and you had to get it to try and stick into the wicket and take a little bit more time in the surface.
So was that still just a momentary phase where it did that, and we can expect it for the entirety of the CSK innings to actually play well, like it did for last 10, 12 overs of the RCB innings?
I think once the fast bowlers came on, they just went Yorker.
Yeah.
They didn't really make use of the stickiness of the pitch. Whenever they did make use of stickiness, when they bowled length, not short. Especially in Chinnaswamy, you can't bowl short, slow balls. You can get away with 1 or 2, but more often than not, you're going to be hit for 6, which happened. I think they would have been better off going a lot of slow balls, in like length slow balls. And coming back to what I was saying regarding the spinners, I thought they were really, really short. Even if you saw Tikshana, the balls he got, Faf and Virat beaten, they were literally like half trackers. So, yeah, they got you dots, but they should actually got new wickets.
I think it's one of these surfaces you don't judge the pitch until you've seen both teams bowl on it.
True.
I don't think CSK bowled that well on it.
I agree with you.
There was a little window where it did a system, which is what we've covered.
Yeah.
When there's a bit of overhead rain, which just sort of create a little bit of dampness on the surface. But I thought their pace bowlers overall bowled very poorly on that surface.
That having been said, how good was that innings from Virat Kohli?
Outstanding, because he had to navigate the difficult part of that innings, both he and Faf, and their partnership is the main reason they're well over 200. It was an outstanding innings because he still managed to absorb the pressure of the challenge of it popping and turning, but still score boundaries. And that's impossible. Well, it's not impossible because it's been done, but that is very, very difficult to do. And he showed not only his form, but he showed his great class.
Yeah, 47 or 29. He might score many 80s, 90s, 100s, but that must be just as good as a T20, 80, 90, 100 in terms of impact at that phase?
100%. Not just him, even Faf. Faf played some unbelievable shots. They don't look like unbelievable shots, but in just like if you watch it carefully, if a spinner is firing it into leg stump and it's turning and you can wait for it and then go through with your hands and get a four off it, it's virtually very difficult to play those kind of shots. And Faf was doing that. Virat did that. He upped the ante, and Faf, the moment Virat got out, Faf did a really good job upping the ante and making sure that the run rate kept continuing and there wasn't any pressure on the new batsman.
It was interesting because Faf was going in less than a run a ball for his first 20, which you think in this game is just a huge pressure innings being built. Kohli, on the other hand, was playing just the perfect tempo in spite of the surface being difficult.
Yeah, it was. I think every time there was half a bad ball, half a ball that got over pitched, he brought out that slog sweep again to the spinners, and it was effective again. It's so great to see him playing that shot. It's very effective, and as Tom said, he dominated from the outset. And you're rightly to say that was an exceptional innings. It's worth 80. It's absolutely, and it set the rest of the innings up because at that point, what we saw is that the spinners were beating the bat, whether it was just on the short side a bit, but the thing is that they were beating the bat and they built a lot of pressure, and you could have easily thrown your wicket away at that point, but to get through that period and then also dominate actually created quite a lot of frustration for the CSK bowlers, and they started bowling those bad deliveries.
It might be worth 80 in the impact zone later. We'll find out. You have him, don't you?
Had a good start.
You've had a
I
very
can't wait
good
for my bowler to bowl, though.
Excellent. Yep. The bowler did bat, and I'll come to that first. They got the batting order spot on, RCB, because everyone seemed to have some fun after that.
Yeah, I think they did, but again, I suppose we'll never know what they originally set out to do because they got off to a good start and therefore they could be a little bit sort of fluid with their ideas on who should come in. But yeah, RCB are playing like a team that should be playing finals at the moment. Whether they've got enough wind in the sails to be able to get over the line and be good enough to play finals if they win by enough or the weather stays away or whatever the circumstances that they require. But they certainly are playing a good enough brand of cricket that deserves to be in the top four.
On the other hand, for a team that's so used to this part of the tournament and so good at it, did CSK look a little bit rattled, a little bit under pressure today?
Yeah, I thought they made some poor errors quite early, tactical errors as well, because when you've got three spinners in your lineup and you've got Faf and Virat at the top, fair enough, give Deshpande the first over, see if the ball's going to swing, and it did, but Mitchell Satner should have bowled that second over. Shadul Thakur shouldn't be bowling that second over, and that kick-started RCB's innings, and they gave Deshpande another over because, yes, he bowled the first over well, but then they've got 3 overs of seam on a wicket that was slow.
They were already 31 then in those 3 overs when the rain came.
They could have potentially, after that first over of Mitchell Satner being the second over, they could have been like 4 overs for 15. And then they really are under pressure once they start seeing that ball go like that. They have to play more aggressive shots than they did. One
thing that's talked about quite often before a team goes out for their fielding effort and bowling effort is setting the tone. And I just felt that was the opportunity missed, is that CSK didn't set the tone early and allowed 2 very, very good players of experience as well get off the hook and away. And therefore when Jadeja came into the game, when they really should have had an impact in the game, the ball was rolling at a considerable rate, and they were up against it.
Especially when you have 2 left-arm spinners, and we know that Faf and Virat strike at a very low pace.
Yeah, that's been the matchup for them.
When you have 2 left-arm spinners, you could have definitely thrown one in there right at the start.
Very interesting that use of the bowlers from Ruturaj Gaikwad as well. Simarjeet's bowled 1, Jadeja's not bowled out. Mitch has spoken of a surprise to give Shardul the new ball, and you've been critical of how they bowled at the death as well.
100%, because you have to assess the wicket and you have to understand on which wicket which ball is going to work. On this wicket, it was sticking. The slow ball was a good option, but they went more Yorker instead of slow ball. They missed their Yorker a lot of low full tosses. And Chinnaswamy is that one ground where you don't want to be missing your Yorkers. If you're gonna bowl a Yorker, you have to execute.
Quickly before we wrap things up, a verdict on the Faf du Plessis run out and wicket, on whether the TV umpire got that spot on, because RCB's captain and the dressing room didn't seem to agree with the decision. Tom?
I thought it was, again, was it umpire Goff?
Yes, it was.
I think he explained it exceptionally well, went through the process well. I like the fact that he introduced the Ultra Edge technology just to confirm the fingertip. It was clearly out. It was very unlucky, and I think a lot of the emotion from that dugout was more to do with the luck more than the actual outcome of the decision.
So you did think the bat was in the air?
Yep,
Definitely.
Definitely was. And I think that's why that almost emphasises the point that you need a specialist TV umpire.
Varun?
I agree. It was out.
Can it also happen at the ground when you see it on the screen? It's not as clear. So
Yeah, 100%.
it can happen. So that explains the batter in the middle not being happy.
But at the end of the day, once the stumps lit up and then the next frame came on the camera, the bat was still moving down. So it hadn't...
didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Yeah, it did not hit the pitch and, until well after the stumps had lit up, unless it's a very soft pitch.
No doubt at all. Just caught me off guard with the end of that remark. No doubt for the panel on Faf's wicket. I asked you pre-match whether RCB would want, say, 220 because of the equation. Now I'll flip that round from a CSK point of view. Do you aim for 201?
Oh, I think you aim to try to win it first and, see where you're at the 10th over. You've got to go in with a mindset of, we're winning this game and assess where you're at the 10th over, maybe at the second strategic timeout.
They can't afford to look at a lesser target if there's weather around as well. So if we get another shower and it gets shortened, if they go out with more of a target of the 200, they'll find themselves a long way behind Duckworth-Lewis.
Quickly, Swapnil Singh is impacted in. For Rajat Patidar, expect his left arm spin to come in at some point. Glenn Maxwell is taking the new ball, Varun. Quick comments from you. He will start to Rachin Ravindra. And yes, it is indeed Rahane not opening today.
I think it's good that Rahane is not opening. Rachin Ravindra and Rituraj Gaikwad are their best bet, but I think Rituraj Gaikwad is taking strike. It's going to be interesting. Rituraj loves off spin. Maxi is opening. He would want to not get off strike.
All right. And, what a start.
God, what a start.
Let's stay on for a second. This could very well just be RCB's day here. Because the first ball, the off spin was the favourable matchup to the right-handed Gaikwad, and CSK's captain is gone first ball.
Half tracker, straight to...
When a half tracker goes straight to short fine, is it just, you're a man for all the stars to align today? So are they aligning in favour of RCB? Let me also point out that the ever-informed Mr. Jha has sent me this. CSK haven't scored 200 while chasing since 2020. The last time they chased 200 plus successfully was 2018 versus RCB at Chinnaswamy.
Well,
interesting. It's all lining up.
It's all lining up for what? Outrageous picks and predictions. Varun Aaron.
CSK are winning this.
CSK are winning?
Yes.
They're chasing it?
They are chasing this.
Woo! That's outrageous enough.
But
you need to give me a specific event for the outrageous pick.
Outrageous pick. I'm going to go with MS getting 30 or more.
Okay, 30 plus for MS.
That is outrageous.
Well, if you're comfortable with that.
I'm combining that then, because a 30 in a dead cause,
a number.
a 30 in a winning cause.
In a winning cause, yeah.
That I can work with.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. All right.
Are you comfortable with that? Because you seem a little bit restless.
Oh, no, that impacts you more.
Okay, quiet boys. I've decided, made my verdict. CSK to win, says Varun Aaron. Mitch McClenaghan.
RCB will win. And they will win by more than 18.
Okay, so they will qualify.
They will qualify.
All right.
And every bowler will take a wicket.
That's nice. Yeah, I mean, how often is it that every bowler who gets the ball
Yeah,
gets
that's
a
all
wicket?
right.
All right, okay.
It's certainly better than yours.
Tom.
I think RCB are winning this, and they're going to win this by 50 or more.
I was just going to sense, I felt you're going to give a big number.
Yeah.
50 or
I
more.
think they're going to win this comfortably, yeah.
Let me put a number on mine. Let's say 26.
26, what 26?
No runs, because I gave a similar one to you, saying that they'd win.
Why don't
More
you,
than 18.
Why don't you
So I've given a number.
Why don't you two carry this on in a few minutes' time while I relieve our viewers of this pain? Thank you so much to Tom Moody and Mitch McClenaghan and Varun Aaron. I'm in the pain of listening to this bickering, not you as a pain. I would never do that. All right, they are pumped, are the Royal Challengers Bangalore, and they are just an innings away from the great turnarounds to make the playoffs in IPL history. Up against them are the defending champions. Are these the last 20 overs of MS Dhoni's IPL career? We shall find out and pick up the chat at the end of it all, as the fourth and final playoff spot would have been secured. Join us then on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout, powered by JBL. Download the mobile app. Don't miss a single thing that happens. Let's keep a watch on the weather too to make sure it doesn't play spoil sport. We need 5 overs to constitute a game. There'll be an equation running parallelly as well on what both teams need to be to make that playoff spot. The ESPN Cricket for Apple have you covered.
Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.